What's up? I'm Alex, the entrepreneur, and this presentation is called the Wardens Journey. My goal is to make a parallel between the hero's journey from The Heroes of a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. You may have heard of him through Rick and Morty. And the parallel that I want to make is, again, I'll go for a story, but about me, I've seen things. I've seen over 50,000 reports if you take some of these QA reports and you unroll them. And I judge over 26 contests. I also won the first contest after 2 years. I work at Badger as a security consultant, and I built some other cool stuff, and I've also judged at Code Arena. So I think I can speak for the topic, and but I'm interested in seeing dissenting opinions. That said, these are the type of people that you see in the arena, and I'm gonna start, shitting on leeches. There's a lot of leeches, and I'm gonna talk about them for a few minutes. After that, you'll see rounders, people that grind out the EV. Then you're gonna have freelances, organizations, and at the apex, you'll see kind of the warden, people that are aligned with the meaning of the word warden, which is to protect an ecosystem. So again, if you wanna follow along on the hero's journey, I made a Miro board. You can scan it here, and there's basically like a circle around, and you can follow along in the journey. Otherwise, you can follow with the slides. The first step of the journey is the invitation to the journey. Maybe you saw the C. Michel post. Maybe you found some alpha on Twitter, Andy Lee podcast, or our good old Patrick flexing his muscles. And you ultimately get invited to participate in the arena. The invitation is a sweet invitation. Anybody can make money. It's really easy. You're gonna, find a few things, send a couple bugs, file a report, make a quick buck, and that's what the outcome of that thinking is you're gonna get crushed under the weight of the unsatisfactory report. Most people that get started, they really don't know what they're doing. So my biggest advice is for you to check some of the winning reports, and if your report doesn't look like that, this is your outcome. So you don't even, some people feel like they need to ask questions about how to, get good. Just look at what other people are doing and do what they're doing. So that's what happens to most people. They spend a month of work, they get 1 cent or 20 cents. So don't wait for the results, and at the same time focus on a higher quality. And this reaction of, this perception of easy findings and then kind of searching for the button to, print money brings on this idea. There's a bunch of people in our community who I will deem as leeches. They ultimately, they serve a function, remind us that we need to change the rules. And as you can see, we don't talk about the findings before 2022 because you can say that in 2022 some of these findings were awarded, but we had to change the rules because of this type of behavior, which ultimately is a behavior that is both self-destructing as well as destructing of the ecosystem. And if I can have like a catchphrase, is that if we all were leeches, there wouldn't be an arena to fight in. We would have, we would be fighting for scraps. And so kind of the cycle of leeching is based on the idea that you'd find a finding. It could be, the good old fee on transfer, rebasing tokens, events are not emitted, you're not supporting, the Gundam XYZ expansion or whatever. And once you find a button, these people just build a bot, or they build, a ChatGPT automation or whatever crap. And so eventually we end up changing the rules, and we ban them, or their process becomes ineffective, and so they lose. And I want to go on the record and say that they call this winning, but the only thing that truly happens is they make maybe a few $1,000s, and they effectively double the rate of judging fees. So I should actually be thanking them, but I'd rather just show contempt for them. That said, let's go towards people that are more aligned. Once you understand that you can actually offer a service that has some value, you understand that it's all about grinding out the EV, and so you're gonna just be a rounder, right? You're gonna just participate in the contest, try to find some bugs, offer whatever value you can, and just, just play your hand, just play the cards that you're dealt with the best you can, and grind out that EV. We have amazing people listed here, all great inspirational people. And what tends to happen though is that once you embrace the process of just participating in contests, grinding out EV, you actually become good. You actually get good and you actually get some results. And typically those results offer you new opportunities. And that's where the DM for audits kind of meta is fully realized, and which I think, again, is a useful thing, because ultimately DM for audits means, especially if you get some audits, it just means the fact that there are customers that are actually looking for that service, and so you're offering some value. And so if I can give you some word of advice there, you will start by writing about your work. Since your submissions are CC0, you may as well own what you send and talk about it, since you already leaked the alpha. And then another good advice is to follow up with a sponsor, make sure they fix the bug you sent, or perhaps ask them about it, or send them some notes. It could actually lead to long-term collaboration, or solo audits, as you'd call them. And again, the last thing is your findings are already public, so you may as well just do like a thread where you explain something like that. And I look forward to sending you 50 findings from Tapioca and embracing the meme. This is kind of how you actually embrace the win-win, is you start writing a proof of concept. It's really, I mean, it sounds so obvious to say, but most people don't bother to write coded POC, and most people are losing out on that. And the reason are multiple, but one of them is that as you write your POCs and you have a backlog of them, then anytime you find a similar exploit, you already have written it. So your submission overall will increase in quality. And at the same time, if you actually code the POC, 80% of your submissions that are invalid, you're going to also know that they're invalid, so you're going to save everybody's time. So just write the POC, and you're going to become a freelance. You're going to be celebrated for your work. You're going to get paid pretty well, be treated really well, and you're going to have a new idea, right? You're going to go from the DM for audits to actually making this as a business. So instead of hunting for EV, just getting the next opportunity, this goes from a temporary opportunity to a business model. And welcome to the world of freelancing. Welcome to the world of being a consultant. You are only as valuable as the work you provide, but at the same time, your work is actually valuable. So you deserve to be compensated for that. And as a rule of thumb, in most businesses, you're able to charge a fifth or up to a fifth, and as low as a tenth of the value that you offer. So generally speaking, if the perceived value of your work is like 150K, then you can charge 15K without feeling bad about it. So make sure to get paid what you deserve. And if you are brilliant enough to ascend from the freelancing world, then you may have the idea of actually launching an organization. I feel like we have two exemplary examples in our community, Watchpug and Trust Security. And if you remember, back in the day, Watchpug was just grinding out the leaderboard back in 2022. And they were probably the only group of people that would have ever surpassed C. Michel, and they just chose to do something else. Whereas Trust, he's been doing his own thing ever since, and he's been doing a great job as well. And so, as a kind of a way to summarize, the meta is you were grinding out EV, you found some bugs, you became a freelance, maybe you had the ambition of launching your own organization, and what happens as you launch your organization is you are changing, you're not only selling the results, but you're making those results your brand, which means that people are not just paying for the results, they expect the results, but they're paying for that guarantee that those results are going to happen. And the only reliable way to do that is to be consistent, because as fast as the community was to shit on some people's missteps, the rest of the community will be as fast to shit on you. And obviously, you could argue that this would be the happy ever after, but you always need to have like an intermission of pain when it comes to the hero's journey. So what happens inevitably if you run your organization is that you're going to miss a bug, or you're going to get exploited, or the project that you were working with is going to get exploited, or you're going to do something really stupid. And that's just part of the journey, is that you realize that security is a journey. You can never do enough, but it's also because you ultimately will fail at protecting the ecosystem alone. And so we have a few examples here. We have a historically accurate, white hat turned black hat attempt with my comment. We have an example of thinking that you're doing a security contest when in truth you were just doing a solo audit and paying the consequences of it. Or we have getting your front end hacked and people signing away their coins. And so at the end, and we do have the in the end meme image, at the end we're all wrecked, we all make mistakes, and we have to live with them. So if you're gonna make a mistake, I guess make a mistake that you can live with. And most importantly, realize, and that's what happens when you go into the depths of these scenarios, is that the community actually embraces you and helps you. And so that's really what my hope is for this talk, is that if you ever found yourself in such a scenario, you understand that pain, and you understand that you don't want it to happen to other people. And that's kind of the vision of cultivating such a community and cultivating such an ecosystem. And that's why you have initiatives such as Barometer, Coolarena, Spearbit, Securium, Y-Audit, etc. They're all born from preventing the worst, and they're all born, and I forgot to put Trail of Bits, but we should have like a giant echidna icon up there. But these are all born to prevent the same mistakes from happening again, because again, if you ever felt that pain, you wouldn't wish it upon anybody else. And hopefully, in taking on the journey, we can make this ecosystem a little safer, and we can hope that people learn from our mistakes. If you want to take on the journey, I got my little website, The Daily Warden, with all the upcoming security contests, and you can check that out in the QR code. That said, I hope you're not gonna stop at the beginning of the journey, and I hope to see you become a warden, and I hope you can protect the ecosystem. Thank you.